Taiyou, breakfast's almost ready.
Okay.
I am Akane Sawai. I am currently living with my son Taiyou, who is in his 4th year of university. We used to live with Taiyou's father, but that all changed because of an incident from 13 years ago.
I'm gonna go to bed now. Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad.
Good night, Taiyou.
Oh, you're going to bed? Good night.
Your face is really red. Maybe you've had a bit too much to drink?
Huh? Stop bothering me about it.
I'm just worried about you.
And I'm saying it's none of your concern. I feel so much more comfortable with her because she's not annoying like you.
Her? Are you cheating on me?
Shoot, I've said too much. Oh well.
What the?
I actually wanted a daughter. Sure, Taiyou is adorable, but I wanted a daughter next. You had to make excuses about your difficulties during your pregnancy, with Taiyou for not having another child.
But we already discussed that and came to an understanding together. We agreed that I can't be hospitalized again for so long since we had Taiyou already.
Well, in any case, I was totally disappointed in you, so gave in to temptation.
Do you really understand what you're saying right now?
Oh, I'm scared. You can say whatever you like. I really couldn't care any less. I'm going to bed. Good night.
I can't believe he's been cheating on me. Hideaki works for an event planning company. And because his work made his schedule inevitably irregular, it wasn't something unusual to not have him home even on his days off. How could I have not noticed? He barely had the time to play with Taiyou since he was rarely home. But I really thought that he was a good father. Hideaki would bring back many tickets and invitations from his work, and take Taiyou to many different places. Taiyou was able to experience things other kids couldn't, and make many memories with his father. But I guess I've got no choice but to get a divorce. I pretty much did everything by myself to bring up Taiyou since Hideaki was barely home. So I don't have a full-time job and only work part-time. I need time to think about how I will be making a living if I do get a divorce. This isn't gonna go anywhere even if I think about it right now. I should go to sleep. I headed to the bedroom, but I ended up spending the whole night wide awake. After a few sleepless nights, Hideaki came home earlier than Taiyou did from school.
I'm home.
Hideaki? How come you're so early today?
Akane, I'm gonna get married to a young and pretty girl from work and make a daughter with her. So let's get a divorce. You can have Taiyou.
What? Wait a second.
I've already packed most of my stuff, so I'm only here to get that. Here's the divorce paper. Fill it out and submit it for me, will you?
After Hideaki made his point without even hearing me out, he left the house without turning back once. I stood there without being able to think. I was thinking of getting a divorce, but my heart could not catch up to the reality after suddenly being ambushed with a divorce. As I stood there in awe, Taiyou came back from school.
Mom, I'm home. I just passed by Dad. He had a really big bag with him. Did he go to work right now? He must be really busy.
Taiyou, actually your father left the house for good.
Are you saying he's never coming back?
Yes, your father and I are getting a divorce. I'm so sorry, Taiyou.
Mom, you are hurt and sad, right? But don't worry, I'm here for you, so don't cry. I will always protect you.
I'm so sorry.
It's alright, Mom. You have me, and I love you.
And just like that, Hideaki and I got a divorce. Although I did receive alimony and child support, I changed from part-time to a full-time employee and worked very hard. It was honestly quite difficult to work as a full-timer, while also spending time with Taiyou just like before. But I always did the best I could. You ended up living at home throughout university.
I guess. Well, I can't leave you alone since you can be clumsy at times.
I'll be fine. You should try living on your own without worrying about me. It's going to be a good experience.
I know, but I can start living alone after I start working. Oh, look at the time. I'm off to class.
Okay, be careful on your way. He must be worried about our financial state. I might be a bit biased, but he has grown to be very kind and considerate. I'm so glad I had Taiyou by my side all these years. I spent the day being a little sentimental, remembering about the past after a long time. And that night, Taiyou came to me to discuss something important.
Mom, I need to talk to you about something.
What is it? You look so serious.
It's about my job hunting. I'm thinking of getting a job at an event planning company.
I see. I'm sure you already know, but if your father is still working in an event planning company, you will be working in the same industry as him. Are you okay with that?
I'll be okay. But I thought you might not like it, so I wanted to talk to you first.
I see. But why is it that you decided you want to work in that industry?
Actually, I've been seeing a girl who's a year older than me, ever since I was in my second year in university. And she's been working at an event planning company. After hearing about all that she does in the company, I started finding it to be very interesting. She's also been having a bit of a tough time recently, but she says the job is still very rewarding and fun.
I see.
And there's actually another reason. I know what Dad did was unforgivable, but I still remember enjoying all the times that he took me to different events. It must be a lot of hard work to organize and run an event, but I know from experience that it is something that can bring joy to people. That's why I want to try working in this industry. I know it must upset you to know that Dad is one of the reasons. I'm sorry, Mom, but it's important to me, so I wanted to be honest with you.
Thank you for worrying about me, Taiyou. If it's that important to you, you should definitely give it a shot.
I was thinking that if I start working in this industry, you might be reminded of Dad unnecessarily, and that really worries me. So I looked into other industries and tried to find something else that might interest me. But I still couldn't shake the feeling of wanting to work in the event planning industry.
Listen, Taiyou. It's true that your father's actions right before the divorce was quite terrible. But as you have said, it is also true that he was a good father to you until then. He gave you the chance to experience something no other kiss could. So I also have a lot of respect for your father's job. I think a job that brings joy to thousands of people is a perfect match for you. If this is what you really want to do, I will support you, no matter what.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. Thanks, Mom. I'll work really hard to make sure I get an offer within this industry.
I'll be cheering you on. Taiyou has always been more independent than I ever was. So I never asked him of how the job hunting was going ever since this conversation. A few days later, I received a call from Hideaki. A call from Hideaki? I wonder how many years it has been. I wonder what he wants. Hello?
Akane, what did you do for Taiyou to turn out like this? He came to the company I work at to call me out and embarrassed me in front of everyone.
Huh? What are you talking about? Apparently, Taiyou had also applied to the company Hideaki worked at and was selected till the final interview.
The next applicant is Taiyou Sawai. Why is he here?
Is it someone you know?
He's actually my son.
What? You haven't seen him ever since you got divorced many years ago, right?
Yeah, I guess it's been about 13 years. I was shocked to see his name since it's been so long.
Could it be that he admires his father and wants to work in the same company?
Huh? Do you really think that's possible? I haven't seen him in so long.
That's exactly why. He probably wants to see you all these years.
You think so? Oh well, what should I do? I don't know what I should say after so many years.
We can expect a lot from him if he is your son. But make sure to not be biased, alright?
Of course. I guess Taiyou really admires and looks up to me.
Next candidate, please. I am Taiyou Sawai from Scato University. Thank you for making the time to see me today. Please take a seat. Thank you. You seem like a very nice young man. Can you please tell me why you chose to apply to our company?
He just told me not to be biased. But he seems to like Taiyou already.
Thank you for asking. The reason I am here today is because Mr. Hideaki Shiroyama has hurt two of the most important people to me, and I would like to tell you all about it. I apologize for coming here on such reason. Wait a minute. What are you saying all of a sudden? You do understand that this is your final interview, right?
Taiyou, you should not be talking about private matters right now. We can talk about it later.
Let's hear it. So, Taiyou, tell me all about it. Of course. 13 years ago, Mr. Shiroyama left his family all of a sudden and filed for a divorce. I heard from my mother that, right before I got back from school, he had ambushed her with the divorce, without giving her any chance to speak her mind. He just said what he needed to and left without turning back once. My mother would never speak of the divorce, since she did not want to hurt me. But I begged her to tell me the truth after I was mature enough to hear about it. And I got to know everything. My mom told me how she was never able to forget how you told her you'd be getting remarried to a young and pretty girl from work. So I see that you were having an affair within the company you are working in. And on top of that, you have been persistently attempting to establish a relationship that goes beyond that of colleagues. With Miss Sasaki Minami, who is in her first year of working at this company, correct? Miss Sasaki is afraid that if she does not comply, she will lose her place in the company. I see that adultery is something this company tolerates.
Young man, how dare you talk like that? Of course we would not tolerate something like that.
That's right. You are being very disrespectful. So you don't tolerate it, but you don't actually put a stop to it. Because in fact, Mr. Shiroyama seems to have been repeatedly committing adultery or attempted adultery. Please don't tell me that none of you ever noticed it.
What makes you think we would believe the words of someone who we just met? Stop making up stories.
Stop, everyone. I will handle this conversation from here. Young man, is that all you wanted to say?
Yes, I have nothing else left to say.
It must have taken a lot of courage to come here and tell us all about this, knowing very well that this was your final interview. I can tell that you're not doing this as some sort of joke.
I believe your words.
But boss, Mr. Sawai, first, please allow me to apologize for all the pain that the employee of my company has caused you and your loved ones. I am very sorry.
Thank you.
I suppose that I was not able to discipline my employees well enough. And I know this may sound like an excuse, but the story you just told me is completely different from what I had heard from Shiroyama. Shiroyama, would you like to explain the meaning of this?
My ex-wife must have made up all these excuses, so that her son wouldn't turn against her.
Mr. President, may I ask what Mr. Shiroyama told you regarding the divorce?
You, stay out of this!
From what we heard from him, it was your mother who was cheating on him, and that she took advantage of the fact that mothers usually get custody of the child, and forcefully took you away from him, and that the person who slowly helped him heal that wound was his current wife.
What a bunch of lies. How can you lie like that on top of hurting the people around you? How selfish can you be?
Shut up! I need to be worried of my own position.
You make me sick.
Shiroyama told me that his wife did him dirty by telling him that she'd allow him to see his son if he paid a large amount of child support, but eventually never kept the promise. Was that all a lie? You said to me that since your wife was only working part-time, and she smooth-talked her way to take a lot of money from you as her share of properties. Didn't you even say you were happy with it as long as it would pay for your son's expenses? Mr. Sawai, will you please give us some time to straighten out the story? I promise to get back to you within the next few days.
Yes, of course. But please handle Miss Sasaki's case, as it is an ongoing matter.
Of course. We will also see if there are any more people going through the same thing, and look into other employees as well.
Thank you very much. I apologize for taking up your time like this.
How dare you! My life is over because of him. The word spread about me hitting on other employees, and even my wife found out about it. And now she's asking me for a divorce.
You were hitting on multiple employees? For how long were you going to keep that up?
Shut up! You should take responsibility for Taiyou's actions. I'm going to resign from the company. I can't work here anymore.
I see. So?
I just told you. I have no choice but to resign. So give me back all the money I gave you 13 years ago as alimony and child support.
Why should I give that back to you?
Because I'm in a tight spot. You should help out if your ex-husband is in trouble.
You're the one who created this situation yourself. It totally serves you right. It's very childish of you to be running away from it by resigning your position. You should be trying to handle the situation yourself without running away like a coward.
You'll never understand how I'm feeling, since you only work part-time.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but I've actually been working full-time ever since the divorce.
So you must have some money saved then. I won't ask to have all the money back, so just give me whatever you can. I'm gonna have to pay alimony to my current wife as well.
Oh, that's got nothing to do with me. We became strangers after the divorce 13 years ago, so please don't depend on me. As I hung up on Hideaki, I blocked his number from my phone. I hadn't deleted Hideaki's number since he was supposed to pay for child support until Taiyou graduated from university. But Taiyou will be graduating in just a few months anyway. And Hideaki probably doesn't have any intentions of paying child support anymore. I should just cut off all bad ties here. Anyway, I'm so proud of you, Taiyou. I knew he was a kind boy, but he's also grown to be so courageous.
I'm home.
Oh, Taiyou, welcome home.
You look happy. Did something good happen?
Oh no, it's nothing.
Mom, I actually met Dad today for my final interview at the company.
I know. Your father called just a while ago and told me everything.
He beat me to it. I'm sorry, Mom. I was worried that he might call you.
You have nothing to worry about. I'm really proud of you. I feel so much better now.
Huh? I thought you might get mad at me for doing something like that. But I'm glad you feel better.
Your father said he's going to quit his job because he doesn't feel comfortable staying there anymore.
How childish of him. If only he had the courage to silence those around him with his own abilities, I might still have a bit of respect left for him.
I was thinking the exact same thing. You're my son after all. Anyway, enough about your father. I'd love to meet your girlfriend. I've been feeling a bit curious since you told me about her.
Sure. I was planning on seeing her next weekend, so I'll make sure to ask her.
And so, Taiyou, his girlfriend Minami, and I decided to have lunch together the coming weekend.
I know we just got here, but I've got some big news. I got a job offer from the same company as Minami.
Huh? But that interview was more like you went there to complain about your father.
The CEO gave me a call a few days after that, and mentioned how he was really impressed by my courage to walk into enemy territory to protect the people I care about.
That is so like him.
Apparently, Dad's current wife also resigned from the company, since she doesn't feel comfortable working there anymore.
That's a relief, but I'm worried people will see you as the son of someone who created this mess.
Don't worry, Mom. I'll do my best so people will rather appreciate me for my work ethics. Plus, Minami will be there with me, so I won't be alone. And after I start working, I really want a chance to show you how much I appreciate all that you've done for me. I've always been so dependent on you.
Oh, don't be silly. No matter how old you get, you're always going to be my sweet son. You can always depend on me.
I'll also do my best to build a strong relationship with you so I can also give back together with Taiyou.
Oh, you're so sweet. I don't care about Hideaki's current family, but I suddenly remembered how Hideaki wanted a daughter. I guess the day I will have a sweet daughter-in-law isn't too far away.